looks really quite odd, and that's because she's one of our devils that will eat absolutely everything that you give her. She will not let anything go to waste, and devils themselves can actually eat up to 40% of their total body weight in one sitting. It'll last them about 2 or 3 days, but I'm sure for Maria it's more than that, because every time I see her she's about 3 times as big as what she used to be. She's an incredible little devil.
Cute little thing.
She is a beautiful little thing, and you can see that she's not so symmetrical because of where she was hit when she was younger. So, and that lovely little yawn that she just did there, that was right on cue. So that actually shows her incredible jaw that she has, and that jaw is quite well known for its strength, and it's actually one of the strongest jaws of any mammal in the world for its body size. So it's a really incredible strength, and the reason for that is because of their diet. So she is a carnivore, but she's actually not great at hunting for herself. So these devils, they actually rely on carrion, which is animal carcasses, and so these are animals that have passed away from other reasons. So that does mean she will try and hunt something out by using her sense of smell, and she has an incredible sense of smell that can reach up to about 2 kilometres away. So it's pretty incredible, but you will see in a little bit when I do give her food at the end that their eyesight is terrible. I'll throw something next to her and she'll run off in that direction. She has no idea she has to use that sense of smell. Her eyesight's really quite terrible for it. But so it does also mean they play a really important role in the ecosystem. They come through, sweep anything off the floor. The only time that they will hunt something for themselves is if an animal is old, sick or injured. So if it's an easy target for them, they will take it down if they're capable of. They do actually only reach speeds though of about 12 kilometres an hour. So that does mean they're pretty much outrun by anything out there that's healthy. And if you were to have a race between a chicken and a devil, a chicken's going to win. So they're really not great at running after things. And so they are called the devil as well, and that is from the European settlers' first encounters with them. So when they first came to Tasmania, which is the only place you will find these guys in the wild, they would have killed some animals for their own consumption as well, which probably would have been a lot of wallabies back then. And this would have meant a whole lot of our scavenger animals would have come out and gone crazy during the night when they come out the most. So it would have encouraged a lot of our devils and our quolls to come out as well. So it would have been a pretty scary thing for our European settlers, not knowing what they were expecting when they first came to Tasmania. And these guys are very vocal when they do eat, because they want to get on the best spot of a carcass, and they'll have multiple devils that they have to compete with. So I do have the sound of just one single devil here. And you can get a feel of just how demonic sounding it is and how quite terrifying it would be hearing this at night time when you've got no idea what it would be. Let's see. Where are we? It doesn't want to work. I feel like someone's recorded over that, but that's the first part of it anyway, which you can imagine. For one devil, it's quite a scary sound. And when they did first go and investigate what was making the sound, they would have just seen some dark eyes looking back and bright red ears, because when they do get excited, which is when they're feeding, they will actually pulse blood up into their ears, and they sort of pulsate like devil horns. So, and it is actually quite unfortunate that this first encounter went the way it did, because they were actually blamed for stealing European settlers' livestock, which we of course know isn't possible. They're just not built for it, and they certainly can't get the speeds up to take anything down like that. And that means they were actually hunted from about 1830 to 1940. So it's over a century that these guys were hunted and poisoned all throughout our state, which is really sad because they're a beautiful and actually quite shy animal as well, naturally. So it's a really sad thing. It wasn't until 1941 that they actually were officially protected here in Australia, in Tasmania. And then their numbers slowly started increasing all up until 1996. And this was the outbreak of our devil facial tumour disease, which some of you might have heard of. It's actually made the news in quite a few places around the world because it's quite a unique cancer. It's one of only 6 transmissible cancers in the world, and it actually started in one single devil on the east coast of Tasmania. Just started, as any cancer does, as a genetic mutation, and that genetic mutation unfortunately instead of just dying out within that one individual, being transmissible, meant that it was able to pass on that cancer just through biting other devils in its local area. So, and we do know it's part of their social behaviour when they're feeding to bite one another to get on that best spot of a carcass. So again, if there's an infected devil there, they can infect all the other devils in that area just through that biting. And it's managed to spread so rapidly that it's now all throughout Tasmania, and it's wiped out 85% of our natural population. So it's a really scary thing. And in the east coast where it first started off, it's about a 90% decline of the population there. So it's really quite scary. There's only a few populations that aren't infected by it. There's only about 2 on the northwest of Tasmania and 1 on Maria Island. So Maria Island's where they've introduced devils, healthy devils, which they were never found on Maria Island before, just because there's absolutely no threat of this cancer getting to them on a little island. But it does mean they've been able to have probably a little bit too much success on the island, because it used to be used as a rookery for a lot of birds. So you can imagine it's easy kills for these guys to go up and eat some little baby penguins, which has been a little bit devastating, but then they've had a huge success rate with the population, so it's win-win in some sort of way. Energy in looking after their little babies. They're quite adamant on coming up to me. I will just give her a little feed because she is obviously quite keen on it.
I've got a bit of sound of the stream. If you
Oh
want me to
yeah,
play it.
that would be awesome actually. Thank you.
We missed it.
Yeah, so you can definitely get a feel of just how scary it would have been to hear that, and it's just quite a sad thing as well, because they were treated the way they were during these first European encounters, because they're a beautiful animal and they are very shy, and if you're lucky enough to see one of these guys in the wild, they're more likely going to run away from you rather than, yes, it is a clean glove, good, rather than come at you. So these guys, they're obviously used to us, and they are in captivity because we're trying to promote a healthy population, because there is currently no cure for the cancer. So that's the only reason why they are with us. So we have got a couple of devils that have been a part of So they are most closely related to our wombat as well. So these guys, they have that really thickened skin like the wombat does, but instead of using it for that defence mechanism where the wombat will slam a predator's head against the roof of their burrow, these guys use it so that they don't get pins and needles in their butt.
Karen, look up. Here's the little one. Yeah.
These are the
Oh, never mind. They have some.
you can give it to them.
We gotta feed it. Gotta get rid of it all.
Do you guys have any food or?
I got a whole bag.
More food. Trying to get a picture of me feeding it. That's one thing I forgot. I doubt that. Yeah. You're gonna eat it? Feed it. I'll feed it. Get all that nourishment. If he's still hungry, that is.